Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 148 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin immediately felt an unimaginable force coming at him. A series of cracking sounds came from the pinky with the underworld finger and the force spread across his body. Wang Lin's body was pushed back by this force and 2 skid marks was created by him. He was forced back 30 feet before he took a step back and stopped himself. As the shockwave spread out, those demon soldiers that had their lives taken by the underworld finger turned to dust. In addition to all of this, every building within 5 kilometers collapsed. The collapsing bodies and buildings created an air blast that spread out very far. Only those several people that had cultivation equal to that of soul transformation cultivators or higher were able to survive in this storm. At the same time, the slaughter gas formed from the celestial slaughter out flew toward Wang Lin from all the pieces of scattered flesh. What a powerful spell! A low voice came from before Wang Lin. After the dust settled, the demon general's large figure was revealed. After he finished speaking, his body wobbled as he forced himself from being knocked backwards. The demonic spiritual energy inside his body moved like crazy to stop himself from being sent flying back. His eyes were like lightning as he stepped forward and crossed 30 feet in an instant. Then his palm reached out and hit the ground. This palm created a gust of wind, and the area within 5 kilometers seemed to have become an ocean. The entire sea let out a roar from the demon general's palm and charged toward Wang Lin like crazy. Withstand my 100-wave demon sea and then you are qualified to talk with me. Wang Lin's body backed up and he immediately felt the change in demonic spiritual energy around him. Demonic spiritual energy was normally incorporeal, but this spell seemed to turn it into a real ocean. That palm caused the ocean to surge and crash down upon Wang Lin. Compared to the 10 collapses, this 100-wave demon sea was even more powerful. The intent contained inside it was even stronger than the fist intent in the 10th collapse punch. Facing the sea of demonic spiritual energy, Wang Lin suddenly had an idea flash into his mind. Back on planet Suzaku, there was a rumor that a powerful cultivator used a spell to make the sea into a mist, thus creating the Sea of Devil's unique appearance. When Wang Lin heard of it back then, although he was shocked, he more or less didn't believe it. However, today he personally saw the demon general turn the invisible demonic spiritual energy into a visible sea. Although this shocked him, it mostly made him think very deeply about this matter. As the demon sea surged, waves began to stack up on top of each other until there were 30 of them, and Wang Lin was focused on continuing to back up. Backing up didn't mean he had failed, it was him buying time to think of a way to break it. The 30 waves of the demon sea stacked together and chased after Wang Lin. Wang Lin's hands moved quickly, creating restrictions to prevent the waves from closing in. However, these restrictions were like thin paper before the waves. They quickly shattered and dissipated into specks of black light. As the waves became more fierce, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He was about to take out some blood jades from Yao Shishua's bag to help him resist when the golden symbol he absorbed from the second statue suddenly appeared in his head. This symbol suddenly imprinted in his mind. But Wang Lin ignored it and took out a large amount of blood jades. He crushed them and waves of blood light filled the area. This blood-colored light covered Wang Lin's entire body. At this moment, the 30 waves arrived and landed on the blood-colored light. There was a series of rumbles like angry waves hitting on a rock. The blood-colored light lasted for several breaths of time before immediately collapsing, and the waves closed in. As the waves closed in, the golden symbol in Wang Lin's mind became even clearer and more profound. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Having reached his current cultivation level meant that his entire body had been tempered by celestial spiritual energy and he had full mastery over his mind, so random things shouldn't appear in his mind during battle. But at this moment, the golden symbol flashed violently in his mind. It seemed ready to break free and fly out from Wang Lin's mind. With the interference of the golden symbol, he couldn't think clearly, even the movement of celestial spiritual energy inside his body was affected by the flashing, golden symbol. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Wind does not come from an empty cave for no reason, and the symbol might not have appeared in his head for no reason. He decided to open his mind and his hand sent out a restriction. The grey gas gathered before his body and his right finger quickly swiped across it. With one stroke, the grey gas twisted and formed a symbol. After drawing the symbol, Wang Lin felt his mind become extremely clear, and he had the urge to release the power inside him. The moment the symbol appeared, the demon general's eyes narrowed. From his view, this symbol had no power, but if Wang Lin was using it at this critical moment, it couldn't be normal. Wang Lin's finger didn't stop, it moved once more over the symbol. With another stroke, he created a two-stroke symbol. The demon general's eyes became even more serious. When that symbol formed, he immediately felt like he was facing the heavens. Wang Lin's finger moved once more and the three-stroke symbol was created. At this moment, the golden symbol in his mind melted into a golden force that fused with the three-stroke golden symbol. Just at this moment, a powerful force came from the symbol. This force was extremely powerful, and it caused the demon general's heart to tighten. He quickly increased the 30 waves into 60 waves and sent them forward. After a series of rumbles, the symbol met the 30 waves, causing the waves to collapse, but the symbol dimmed after doing so. The golden symbol then collided with the next 30 waves, and they cancelled each other out. But just at this moment, 3 strands of grey gas appeared where the symbol disappeared. They pierced through the demon sea and charged directly at the demon general. The demon general's eyes narrowed and he shouted, "Armor, activate!" With one word, a curtain of demonic spiritual energy suddenly appeared 7 feet before him. The 3 strands of grey gas collided with the curtain and shook violently before being bounced back. Now they were slightly dimmer than before. The demon general's eyes lit up, then he laughed and took a step forward. What a powerful symbol spell! Wang Lin, I have indeed underestimated you. However, it seems the symbol has a lot more to it. How about you display it all and have a battle with me? Wang Lin coldly asked, Where is 13? We'll talk after we finish fighting. The demon general laughed and his eyes lit up like a torch. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he backed up several steps and said, Once I use my final ace, you will die for sure. Oh? Then show it to me. If it can really kill me, I'll be satisfied. The demon general's eyes lit up as he created another 40 waves that crashed toward Wang Lin. If I were to kill you, I would have no way to stay in this sky demon country. Watch carefully, you will know yourself if you can withstand this blow. Wang Lin didn't try to take on the 40 waves. Instead, he flew hundreds of feet into the air and suddenly looked down. The demon general's eyes revealed a mysterious light, and with a thought, the 40 waves returned to him. Right now the 40 waves moved around him like 40 dragons, and the current him was like a demonic sea god. Wang Lin floated in the air and closed his eyes. The demon general was far stronger than he thought. The 10 collapse punch was only one of the demon general's spells. This 100-wave demon sea should be his true killing move. As for whether the demon general had any more hidden abilities, although Wang Lin was curious, he didn't want to find out. Although this person's cultivation was only at the peak of the late stage of soul transformation like Wang Lin's, his spells were far more powerful than Wang Lin's. Wang Lin had to admit that he was lacking in terms of spells. Even when using his treasures, he wasn't confident that he could win. This was the first time in hundreds of years that Wang Lin had faced someone who had the same cultivation level as him, and not only was he not confident that he could win, if he was just a bit careless, he would lose. Right now he was also inside the demon general city. His goal was to save 13, and if he suffered any injuries, the chance of the rescuing 13 would disappear. After Wang Lin learned he couldn't win, he had the idea of a trick. He floated in the air with his eyes closed and recalled the giant handprint he saw in the celestial realm. Back then, he spent a lot time next to it to learn from it, and then later he used it against Red Butterfly. However, that palm only had the shape and no power behind it. However, this spell was something no one could see through. After all, the moment it appears, its pressure is already at an unimaginable degree. That giant handprint slowly condensed in his mind, and his mentality changed to the way it was back when he was comprehending it. At this moment, his eyes suddenly opened up, and they showed an inexplicable color. With one gaze, He looked down on the ground and felt like he was looking over the entire world. As for the demon general, he now looked like an ant. When the demon general saw this gaze, his heart shook violently for the first time. This gaze is something I only feel when I look at the ancient demon in the temple. It is something not even the demon emperor possesses. The demon general's body trembled, and the waves around him began to rotate out of control. Wang Lin reached out with his right hand and pressed down. This palm caused the sky to darken, and various mysterious forces gathered below Wang Lin and formed an incredibly large palm print. Then he pressed down his palm. The demon general's body shook violently and the waves around him began to surge like crazy. At this moment, everything before him was replaced by that giant palm print. The moment the palm print appeared, it fell from the sky. A feeling that he couldn't defeat it, couldn't resist it, and couldn't even dodge it appeared in his heart. It was as if this palm was the heavens and earth, this palm could destroy the world, and this palm could destroy all life. This feeling enveloped his heart, and his body trembled involuntarily. Although this palm had not yet fallen, the pressure it gave off destroyed his will to battle. The demon general struggled to let out a roar, and an unyielding feeling appeared in his heart. As he stared at the rapidly descending palm, battle intent erupted from inside him. Even if you are the heavens, I have to fight. Even if you can destroy the world, I must fight. Even if you can destroy all life, you can't destroy the will to fight in my heart. His body suddenly stood straight and he let out an unyielding roar. The waves around the demon general turned into countless sea dragons that charged at the sky. When the palm print landed, the demon general's battle intent reached its peak, but at this moment, a gentle breeze swept by him. The palm landed on the demon general and caused no change. The demon general was startled. This expression hadn't appeared on his face in a long time. What followed after was the uncontrollable, lingering sense of fear that one gets after walking by death's door. You are already dead. Wang Lin landed from the air and looked at the demon general. The demon general's expression was complex as he looked at Wang Lin with doubt in his heart. What spell is this? He asked. Wang Lin's expression was neutral as he calmly said, this spell has no name. The demon general pondered for a bit and then the waves around his body quickly disappeared. He looked at Wang Lin and said, you haven't fully learned this spell. Wang Lin's expression didn't change and he only said one thing. You can try again. The demon general was very uncertain. Although he suspected that Wang Lin could only perform the illusion of the attack without any real power behind it, it was only his suspicion. Even if he was 90% confident, just remembering the life and death feeling he had, he wasn't willing to risk it. Even thinking about that palm caused his heart to tremble. The demon general pondered for a long time before saying, this is your ace. Wang Lin didn't explain. He knew that the more he explained, the more openings he would show. He knew that the spell was only an illusion and that anyone would be suspicious. However, suspicion will remain suspicion, it was something the demon general couldn't confirm. That's why he didn't speak and only calmly looked at the demon general. The demon general let out a sigh. He still didn't have the courage to risk that 90% doubt against that 10% truth. If it turned out to be real, he could die. It could be that even with his cultivation, if he were to use the spell's true power, he would suffer great backlash, maybe even to the point where his body can't stand it and will collapse, so he only used an illusion. This was the only explanation that the demon general was willing to believe. His suspicion was still there, but it was forcibly suppressed by him. Wang Lin calmly asked, where is 13? I'm refining a magical treasure that requires 18 people with strong bodies. I went into closed-door cultivation this time to refine the treasure. Your follower, 13, is later in line, so he hasn't been refined yet. Then the demon general slowly said, I can give him back to you because you are my commander, but you killed tens of thousands of demon soldiers and destroyed 5 kilometers of the city. This matter I can't let go so easily. Wang Lin's expression didn't change at all and he said, what do you want? The demon general slowly said, in 3 months, I need to return to the capital of the Sky Demon country for a debriefing. During that time, there will be a competition between the demon generals. If you promise to help me, I'll forget about the matter of you killing my demon soldiers. Otherwise, even if I die, you won't be able to gain a foothold in this country. At this moment, he considered Wang Lin his equal. Not counting that illusionary palm, just the fact that Wang Lin could break his 10 collapse punch and withstand the 100-wave demon sea caused Wang Lin standing in the demon general's mind to skyrocket. This person has the same cultivation level as me. If it wasn't for the fact that his spells can't compare to mine, this would be a difficult fight. Thinking about spells, he suddenly remembered that palm, and the idea that Wang Lin's spells weren't a match for his completely disappeared. Compared to that palm, my spells are nothing. I'm afraid only the Demon Emperor can match that spell, the Demon General sighed. Wang Lin pondered a bit and nodded. The Demon General let out a laugh. This laugh washed away all the unpleasantness from before. He smiled and said, "Good. From today onward, I, Left-Wing General Mo Lehai, name you as my only Vice-General. If I can place in the top 3 among the Demon Generals, I'll ask the Demon Emperor to make you a general. At that time, you will have your own city and 100,000 demon soldiers at your command. You will definitely have a bigger advantage than a majority of the foreigners." With that, his right hand reached out and created a black vortex. There were specks of light inside the vortex. The Demon General casually pointed at one of the specks, causing it to collapse. Then 13's body flew out and landed before Wang Lin. His remark just now was to appease Wang Lin and use the position of general to make Wang Lin try his hardest. At the same time, he didn't use 13 to threaten him. This showed that he was treating Wang Lin with sincerity. However, this was only because he saw Wang Lin's strength. Feeling the power of that palm was what made him give Wang Lin such treatment. Although he suspected that palm, in the end, it was only suspicion, and as long as he could never confirm it, he wouldn't risk it. The more intelligent someone is, the more likely they are to think this way. Although the Demon General had an open personality, having reached this level of cultivation meant that he wasn't dumb. In fact, he wouldn't lose to Wang Lin in cleverness. "I'll return in 3 months." Wang Lin's divine sense swept past 13. He found that 13 had no injuries and was only in a coma. He grabbed 13, took a step into the air, and disappeared over the horizon. The Demon General had his hand behind his back as he looked into the sky and shook his head. The 5 people who were equal to late-stage soul transformation cultivators rushed in. When the 5 of them watched the fight earlier, their hearts were completely absorbed in it, and they weren't able to pull themselves out for a long time. The 5 of them only recovered now that Wang Lin had left. One of the 5 said, "Demon General, I believe that his palm strike is fake. If you were to act, you could definitely kill him. Even though I know that there is a 90% chance that that palm is a bluff, I can't bring myself to risk it. Even if he only knows how to use an illusion, to make me hesitate so much means that he is indeed clever. To make it so what's real looks fake and what's fake looks real, this person can't be underestimated. Also, 1 year ago, against my 10 collapse punch, he had to use a secret technique to withstand up to 7 collapses. Now, 1 year later, his cultivation has increased exponentially. He and Commander Yao disappeared around the same time, yet only he came back, so there's something hidden there. But it has nothing to do with me." The Demon General's words were directed at the 5 of them, but he was mostly muttering to himself. The 5 of them silently pondered as they all raised their heads to look at where Wang Lin went to. A very complex feeling involuntarily appeared in their hearts. Wang Lin floated in the air and spread out his divine sense. He found the dark prison inside the city and appeared before it with the unconscious 13. This dark prison was underground. Although there were restrictions placed all over the area, none of them besides the ones in the depths of the prison could stop Wang Lin. With Hooow's status, he couldn't have been locked away in the deeper part of the prison. Wang Lin spread out his divine sense but was unable to find any trace of Hoow. He let out a sigh and then disappeared without a trace. Wang Lin moved extremely fast. Now that his cultivation had reached the peak of the late stage of soul transformation, his speed was several times faster than before. Even though he was carrying 13, it didn't take long for him to return to the soul refining tribe. Wang Lin appeared in a flash of light dozens of kilometers away from the soul refining tribe. Before him, he could see the soul refining tribe not far off. Although the soul refining tribe didn't expand during this year, all of the members had been working hard on their cultivation. This 10-kilometer area was all under the control of the soul refining tribe. There was a thick, black fog in the sky above this 10-kilometer area. Sometimes soul fragments moved within this black fog, and sometimes ghostly wails slowly echoed inside it. The people inside the soul refining tribe had gotten accustomed to the ghostly wails from the black fog. The louder the wails, the more soul fragments were inside. A majority of the people inside the soul refining tribe were cultivating right now. They all had their souls out as soul fragments flew out of the soul flags and into the black fog. At the same time, soul fragments returned from the black fog and went back inside the soul flags. After Wang Lin appeared, he took one step and charged toward the soul refining tribe like a bolt of lightning. He let out a smile, as he had already noticed more than 10 people at 10 different locations carefully observing the area. He was very familiar with these people. Their duty was to stand guard outside. Wang Lin's divine sense spread out, and within 50 kilometers, there were more than 100 people on guard. It didn't take long for Wang Lin to arrive about 1,000 feet away from the tribe. This was where he stopped. After he stopped, a powerful gust of wind followed him and blew toward the tribe. The moment he stopped, someone immediately saw Wang Lin. After a moment of shock, their eyes were filled with excitement. Ancestor! A shout filled with joy quickly awakened everyone from their cultivation. In almost an instant, all of the tribe members stood up. Hoow turned into a cloud of black mist as he charged through the tribe. He stopped about 10 feet before Wang Lin with a face full of excitement and respectfully said, "Welcome back, Ancestor." At the same time, all of the tribe members knelt down on one knee and said, in a chorus, "Welcome back, Ancestor." The central valley of the soul refining tribe was an area that belonged solely to Wang Lin. Right now he was sitting inside the valley with 13 down on one knee before him. 13's eyes were filled with excitement. It has already been 3 days since Wang Lin returned to the tribe, and 13 had been awakened by him with a spell. After awakening, 13 immediately saw Wang Lin, and his heart was immediately filled with excitement. Wang Lin learned from 13 roughly what happened during this year of time. After talking about Hoow, Wang Lin let out a sigh. Hoow disappearing from the dark prison was very strange. With his peak late-stage soul transformation divine sense, he swept the whole city and didn't find a trace of Hoow. Hoow cultivated the soul refining technique that Wang Lin taught him, so in the end, the final control of the soul fragments belonged to Wang Lin. However, Wang Lin couldn't find a trace of the soul fragments refined by Hoow. If Hoow didn't die, then he must be in some mysterious place. There is no other reason why I can't find him, Wang Lin pondered for a bit before giving up on this matter regarding Hoow. He had already done his best. He raised his head to look at 13. One of the reasons he had brought Hoow and 13 to Ancient Demon City was to test them. If the two passed his test, he would teach them new techniques. For Hoow, aside from soul refining, there was also soul extraction. However, this soul extraction spell required much more effort than soul refining. Although Wang Lin had modified it, he wouldn't casually teach it. As for 13, the original idea of giving 13 the ancient god tactic was immediately discarded. The ancient god tactic was something he could never teach. However, during this year, 13 had passed Wang Lin's test with flying colors. Wang Lin could feel that 13 would be completely loyal to him for at least several decades. On planet Suzaku, Wang Lin had a lot of interactions with the giant demon clan. When he killed the giant demon clan ancestor, he also obtained the giant demon clan ancestor's bag of holding. Aside from that drop of ancient god blood, there were also some jades in there. Among these jades there was a record of a body cultivation method called the 9 cultivations of the Titan. Back then, Wang Lin only quickly looked at it and forgot about it. Now he looked at 13 as he touched his bag of holding and a cyan jade appeared in his hand. Wang Lin scanned it with his divine sense and thought, this is it. The 9 cultivations of the Titan had a total of 9 levels and was a body refining technique. After memorizing all 9 chants, he wiped out the last 3 levels and threw it to 13. 13 caught the jade with excitement. His gratitude toward Wang Lin was already indescribable. He knelt down on the ground, kowtowed a few times, and said, "Ancestor, 13 will only listen to you for the rest of his life. Guard the soul-refining tribe well. Now go." Wang Lin waved his right hand and a gentle breeze sent 13 out of the valley. Wang Lin sat by himself inside the valley. The sky was covered by the black fog. This black fog was formed by the 1 billion soul flag, and using it to nurture soul fragments had the best effect. I felt safe leaving the flag here when I was at ancient Demon City. However, the capital is too far away, so I can't leave the flag here. Wang Lin looked up at the black fog in the sky before closing his eyes and beginning to cultivate. At this moment, far to the west of the soul-refining sect, almost halfway across the sky demon country, there was an endless desert. This place was known as a very fierce place in the demon spirit land. Rumor has it that countless years ago, this was an ancient battleground of the demon spirit land. Millions of kilometers of land were covered in corpses, and the ground was dyed dark red. Just one glance was enough to shock anyone's heart. Outside this ancient battleground there was an invisible restriction that cut off everything from the outside world. At this moment, there was a young man sitting in this ancient battleground. Before him were more than 100 small flags. These flags moved without any wind and slowly circled around him. A strand of black mist surrounded his body, and the presence of this black mist caused the large amount of souls that were sleeping here to awaken. Every time a soul fragment awakened, a violent strand of black gas would charge out from the ground. It would spin with the black mist for a few laps before going inside one of the small flags. There was a black-robed old man 1,000 feet away from the young man. This person coldly looked at the young man, and after one incense stick of time, he said, "Okay, finish up." The young man nodded, then his hand formed a seal and all the small flags released a black glow and landed in his hand. At this moment, the young man opened his eyes. The moment he saw the old man, he immediately stood up and respectfully said, "Hoow greets benefactor." The old man nodded and said, "Very good. When the time comes that you can refine all the soul fragments in this ancient battleground with your soul refining skill, there is no way you won't be able to go in the demon spirit land." Hoow's face was filled with excitement as he said, "This is all because of benefactor. You saved my life, taught me spells, and brought me here to refine soul fragments. Hoow will forever remember those things." The old man's expression was still cold as he said, "If it wasn't for the fact that your spell is strange and is something I have never seen before, I wouldn't have saved you. In addition, your previous master returned to ancient Demon City, fought with the demon general, and saved 13. I was one step too late." Hoow revealed a complex expression and said, "If I can refine all the soul fragments here, the first thing I'll do is kill this Wang Lin." The old man looked at Hoow and said, "He did, after all, teach you the soul refining spell. Why do you insist on killing this person?" Hoow pondered a bit before he sneered. "Although he taught me the soul refining spell, he had ulterior motives. If not for Wang Lin angering Sima Yang, I wouldn't have been thrown into the dark prison. In the first few months in the dark prison, I had hopes for Wang Lin to come to save me, but as time passed by, that hope was destroyed. When I was being tortured, where was he? When I was being abused, where was he? In the end, all of my expectations for him to save me turned to hate. If it wasn't for him, how would I have ended up like this? Luckily, Benefactor rescued me, and on that day, when I woke up, I swore I would never be a slave again." The old man's cold face gradually revealed a hint of a smile as he said, "Good. To have such decisive thinking, no wonder you are someone who caught my attention." Then the old man turned around, took one step, and disappeared without a trace. Hoow clenched his fist as he looked into the distance and muttered to himself, 13 is too simple and is being cheated by Wang Lin. During those months in the dark prison, I realized that Wang Lin considers me and 13 disposable pawns. Wang Lin, one day, When I use my soul flags and release tens of millions of soul fragments, I want to see your expression. I want to see how you will resist my tens of millions of soul fragments. Once I cultivate the world-destroying suppression method to the 4th level, I will have endless demonic spiritual energy. Wang Lin, Sima Yang, just you two wait. Hooow's eyes revealed thick killing intent. There was a pitch-black tower in the depths of this ancient battleground. This tower was dozens of feet tall and there were rings of light around it. These rings seemed to be able to absorb all the light coming at it. From a distance, the tower seemed to have an air of majesty around it. The black-robed man's figure appeared outside the tower. He took a deep breath and stepped into the tower. At the top of the tower, he knelt down on both knees. Before him was a set of armor. This armor looked very old and was definitely not something from this era. If someone with discerning eyes were to see this, they would immediately recognize that this armor had some extraordinary history behind it. It was still fairly intact and was completely black. There were countless patterns engraved on it, and they were all clouds. These clouds were completely black, which gave off a strange feeling. From a distance, this set of armor looked like a person sitting cross-legged in the room and gave off an irresistible sense of majesty. Waves of black gas came out from the armor and filled the tower. Two ghostly lights suddenly appeared inside the helmet like a pair of eyes, and its gaze fell on the old man. At this moment, the world outside trembled slightly as if a celestial spirit had descended. The old man took a deep breath and said, "Your subordinate has checked and found out that the demon emperor of the Sky Demon country, Scorpio, should have already made the last step 1,000 years ago, but he is forcibly suppressing it." The ghostly light inside the helmet flashed and an invisible chill came out from the armor. The old man's body and mind trembled and cold sweat appeared on his forehead. After a long time, the ghostly light landed on the old man's eyes as if sending a message. After a few breaths of time, the ghostly light dissipated and the armor returned to normal. The mysterious aura around the armor disappeared too. The old man's entire body was covered in sweat as he said, "Yes." After that, he stood up and respectfully left the highest floor of the tower. Then he returned to the first floor and sat down in the lotus position. This time he was clearly more relaxed. If this child, Hoow, can absorb a lot of soul fragments, then combining the mysterious nature of the soul refining technique and my alchemy skill, his cultivation can increase rapidly in a short period of time. Then I'll let him cultivate Master's momentary art to condense all his longevity and potential into just 1 hour of power so he can become one of the demon guardians. This soul refining spell is very mysterious, but I feel like there is some flaw hidden within it. However, Master can't be awake for too long, so I can't waste his time on this small matter. If not for the fact that Hoow knows this mysterious soul refining spell, with his qualification and status, he wouldn't be qualified to become a demon guardian. If this experiment is successful, I'll have to go check out that soul refining tribe. This video will end here.